Good Wednesday morning. This is the Ohio AgNet, broadcasting from the Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Valtima Fungicide, the proven #1 for the toughest corn diseases with long-lasting residual. When you need to be confident your fungicide will perform. I'm Joel Penordwood with your farm news this morning. Expected a little bit more rain this week, but was pleasantly surprised with some nice weather yesterday. We even got a little bit of Tuesday evening yard work. It's a busy calendar ahead for the broadcast side, but a couple of notes to pass along. Don't forget Ritchie Brothers having a large auction on June 25th. Visit rbauction.com for complete details. And don't miss the Dye Real Estate and Land Company's July consignment auction. That's happening on July 14th at the Putnam County Fairgrounds. To learn more, go to dyerealestate.com or call 419-721-3497. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for Feeding Farmers. And today's midday broadcast is happening from Morrow County and the Leonard Family Farm. For this week's Feeding Farmers Stop, sponsored by Paradise Energy Solutions, Timty Inc., and presented by Ag Revolution, disrupting traditional farm service by putting farmers first. They bring the dealership to you with mobile on-farm service for all brands, supported by Fendt and Massey Ferguson as your full-service agriculture partner. So stay tuned later today to learn more from the Leonard family. And we'll be at the Pickaway County Fair tomorrow, thanks to Lice Mercantile, helping manage risks since 1983. Find out more at licemercantile.com. Hard to believe it's already county fair season. And then join us at the Marion County Fair coming up next Monday, thanks to Nature's premium liquid fertilizer since 1946. Let's jump into your news with your news feed delivered to you by Ebert's Field Seeds, delivering proven local seed performance to Ohio farmers. It's time to start planting Ebert's. Call us at 937-473-2521 or visit online at ebertseeds.com. The Farm Bill. It's time to talk about it again as the Senate Agriculture Committee has unveiled its long-awaited Farm Bill draft, proposing updates to commodity programs, conservation efforts, farm credit, and rural development, and much more. The bill would increase Farm Service Agency loan limits, raise the Conservation Reserve Program payment cap from $50,000 to $125,000, and expand USDA's authority for emergency haying and grazing on CRP acres. Also includes provisions aimed at improving preparedness for animal disease outbreaks. Absent from the proposal, measures to allow year-round E15 sales nationwide, and language addressing California's Proposition 12 livestock standards, which many state groups are quite concerned about. Senate Ag Committee Chair John Bozeman highlights what is included.
It modernizes USDA loan limits so producers can access the capital that they need. The world is totally different now than it was in 2018, certainly than it was in 2012. It continues investing in rural broadband and water infrastructure. It strengthens rural communities and supports the next generations of farmers and ranchers. It's built for America, built for rural America.
He says the plan is to bring the bill up for committee vote after the 4th of July.
What we'd like to do is leave this out there for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to come back after the 2-week break, and during that period before August, work hard to actually have a vote and get it out of committee.
As far as financial assistance for farmers in the form of additional bridge payments, well, Bozeman says those would be addressed separately from the Farm Bill. Here in Ohio, the No-Till Council is staying busy. Allison Kinney checks in.
The Ohio No-Till Council is gearing up for another season of field days and educational programs designed to challenge even the most experienced farmers. With tight margins and a challenging spring behind them, this year focuses on cutting input costs to improve profitability. Events kicked off in June with guest speakers from Indiana and Illinois, and more opportunities are on the horizon. 7 additional field days will run from August 5th through September 3rd, covering topics like soil health, planter technology, and decades of no-till research. A full lineup will soon be available at ohionotill.com. The council also awarded 5 scholarships this year, recognizing outstanding students pursuing agricultural and related degrees. Each recipient will be honored at an upcoming event. The season wraps up with the No-Till Conference on December 2nd in Plain City. For the entire article and a detailed list of all no-till field day events, please visit ohioagnet.com. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Allison Kinney reporting.
Thank you, Allison. Let's talk weather, brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin reports.
A mostly dry day setting up once again here in Ohio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. Today, sunshine in most areas. Clouds will be increasing in northwest Ohio this afternoon. I do think that we wait till near midnight or closely after that that to get actual rain showers to push into northwest Ohio. From there, the action spreads across the rest of the state through the day tomorrow. Not exceptionally heavy rains, but rains nonetheless. We'll take some pause then in northern Ohio late tomorrow afternoon, evening, right on through early Friday. But a secondary surge of strong storm action coming out of the Central Plains and Missouri Valley for the finish of the week. That could throw some strong storms into the southern half of Ohio, and at least some moderate to heavy rains for Friday night, and Saturday. So gear up with an umbrella if you're down in that part of the world. Early next week, we start to see heat build. That increases our chance of pop-up thunderstorms. I'm Ryan Martin.
The situation in the Middle East continues to be tender, and the fertilizer industry is keeping a close eye on it, as Joe Everett reports.
The fertilizer industry is welcoming the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz following a new agreement between the United States and Iran, calling it a positive development for farmers and global agricultural supply chains. The Fertilizer Institute says the waterway is a critical route for fertilizer and energy shipments. Roughly 40% of the world's urea fertilizer and about half the global sulfur supplies move through the strait each year. Farmers in the United States and around the world need this vital shipping lane open and operational, said Corey Rosenbusch, president and CEO of the Fertilizer Institute. Despite the reopening, industry leaders warn supply chains won't return to normal overnight. Tankers carrying oil are expected to receive priority, and damage assessments continue at production facilities throughout the region. TFI economist Veronica Nye said fertilizer markets may take months to fully recover from the disruption. Reporting for the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett.
And thank you, Joe. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back on the Ohio AgNet with more farm news. Stay tuned.
Ohio farmers, we know summer means long days in the field and plenty of work still to do. And the Ohio AgNet wants to bring lunch to your farm. The Feeding Farmers contest is back this summer, and we'll be choosing farms across Ohio for a visit from the Ohio AgNet, along with free lunch for your farm, family, and crew. Get entered today at ohioagnet.com/feedingfarmers. Feeding Farmers is brought to you by Ag Revolution, Paradise Energy Solutions, Tempty, and the Ohio AgNet.
If agriculture is your way of life, you need news you can count on. That's why Ohio farmers turn to Ohio's Country Journal, your source for the latest in crop updates, livestock insights, market trends, and the stories that celebrate country life across our state. Every issue keeps you informed, connected, and ready for what's next in Ohio agriculture. So don't miss a beat. Renew your subscription or sign up today at ocj.com/renew and grow with the publication built for Ohio farm families. That's ocj.com/renew.
You're listening to the Ohio AgNet. June is National Dairy Month, of course, and in a recent story online at ohioagnet.com, we highlighted Mike and Maylee Plotner of Union Champ Dairy. They are located in western Union County and have a unique operation. They milk brown Swiss cows and stay busy as a young farm family, both with off-farm jobs, Mike in manufacturing and Maylee as a pharmacist. And alongside their young son, Jim, they are steadily improving a farm they've largely rebuilt themselves since moving there in 2020 just outside of West Mansfield. And we catch up with them in this conversation.
All right, so why milk brown Swiss? Why be first-generation dairy farmers in 2026?
Well, a lot of times it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, you would think, to milk cows. I started working at Select Sires in 2019. When I started at Select Sires, I really decided that, brown Swiss were pretty cool. They were some neat bulls to hang out with. And there's a guy there named Andrew Nickel. They milk brown Swiss just south of us in Marysville. And he kind of got us started, and we got our first one. And my wife had milked cows for a guy just south of Marysville too, and she'd got a Holstein cow here we had with the beef cows they had at the time. And it just kind of morphed into something where we decided we were going to start milking cows. So in 2022, we started shipping milk, and here we are.
The plan was always to just move into it slowly eventually when I was done with school. But then we kept adding more cows as the years went on. And now I think total, including heifers and everything, we have about 30. So that's just kind of taken off.
The farm, you guys spend a lot of time here, a lot of work, but also you supplement it with some things off the farm.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been going to school for 8 years, and I'm about to finish my residency. I'm going to be a clinical pharmacist in Delaware, just down the road. So I've always been really interested in ag, but also in the medical field. So my youngest brother, he has cerebral palsy, so I've always been really interested in the medical field as well. And being a hospital pharmacist, I'm able to like manage medications and discuss with providers and give recommendations and things like that. And we do a lot of like pharmacokinetic dosing and things like that in the hospital. So it's a lot more hands-on than what you think a normal pharmacist would do. So that's kind of what I do during the day. And then we come home and we farm in the morning and at night. Mike does a lot at Nestle as well.
Yep, I just work at the Nestle plant in Marysville where they do the instant coffee research. Grandpa, one of my uncles, worked there, and we used to ship milk there.
His grandpa, that was a really big idol to him in his farming, and that's where he got his love of Alice Chalmers. His grandpa worked at Nestle as well, so he likes being there and hearing about all the stories about his grandpa and stuff too.
Now, I've got an Alice Chalmers C at home. Granddad's got a G. He used to farm with a 190.
Yep.
Why orange?
Well, going back to it, like great-grandpa Arthur Hall was the first one to have one. He bought a WC in the late 30s. And then we still have a WD that was theirs because they milked about 30 cows and farmed about 300 acres up until the late 60s when they sold the milk cows and then bought the Alice Chalmers dealership in Marysville. And they were the AC dealers in Marysville up until the mid-late 70s. But yeah, so I grew up riding with Dad and Grandpa in the 190 we have actually sitting over there hooked to the manure spreader right now. And then I've just always been buying them. I think we got 4 or 5 of them now probably. And bought my first Gleaner combine when I was in high school. And so we've always been pretty deep with them, and they've been good tractors for us. And it's always just a whole lot of fun to have. It's a little bit different, just like milking brown Swiss and doing everything else in 2026. So it kind of fits in.
That kind of leads back to your original question, why milk brown Swiss, why milk cows at all in days like today. We both had grandpas that were dairy farmers. My grandpa was a milk tester, and he died when I was 3 years old. So I always grew up hearing about my grandpa's dairy farming experiences. So that kind of is what always made me really interested in dairy. And then he had the same experience where his grandpa was a dairy farmer. So we had just enough of it to make us interested, but not enough to hate it.
Yeah.
Again, that's Mike and Amelie Plotner of Union Champ Dairy, a unique story, and you can find out more about them online at ohioagdat.com as we celebrate June Dairy Month. Stay tuned. We'll take a look at markets up next on the Ohio AgDat.
Bottom of 31, sold them 30,000.
Get ready to bid on the heavy equipment and vehicles you need in a Ritchie Brothers Midwest Regional Auction happening June 25th. Inventory is housed at Minneapolis, Kansas City, Chicago, Columbus, Detroit, and Lincoln locations. Choose from a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Chicago to sign up. Again, that's rbauction.com/Chicago.
You're listening to the Ohio AgDat. Let's talk markets and what's driving those this morning. Market analysis wise, brought to you by Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Ryan.
Grain markets finished the Tuesday session mixed to mostly lower. The only big green on the screen came in soybeans, and when I say big, it was a penny or two. That's all we got. Bean meal was mixed, about $2 to $3 higher a short ton on the nearby. Bean oil was down. The wheat markets took it on the chin yesterday, 10 to 15 cents lower. It's not because of crop conditions. The crop still stinks in the Central Plains, but harvest moved along. Nationally, we're 40% done now, so you know those hard red winter wheat acres really came off quickly last week. Meanwhile, corn markets traded lower as well, 1 to 2.5 cents or so. No real significant change there. Stories yesterday. Hot and dry weather pushing into the central United States that first full week of July. The drought worsens in Europe. Crude oil yesterday flattened out at $70, traded slightly below for a time. Maybe we're back to a little bit of normalcy. I'm Ryan Martin.
Looking at how things are faring overnight in Chicago, mostly quiet. July corn down 0.5 cent to $4.09 1/4. New crop corn staying unchanged at $4.37 1/4. July soybeans unchanged at $11.17, and new crop beans also no movement at $11.41 3/4 per bushel. July wheat down just a bit, 1 1/4 to $5.85 1/2. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Cattle trending down as we look back to their Tuesday results. June cattle closed 68 cents lower to $255.15. September feeders off $1.85 to $366.98. Hogs higher. August up 50 cents to $97.23 for lean hogs, and milk trending off by about 2 to 7 cents across the board. More farm news at OhioAgNet.com. I'm Joel Penordwood. We thank you for tuning in to the Ohio AgNet.